Hello, I'm Loretta, and welcome to an Emo Girl's Guide to the Galaxy, where we debate, rant, and curse way too much. If you like books, sarcasm, and hate the patriarchy, then you've definitely come to the right place.
Hey everyone, I'm Devin, and this week we are talking about size of our books, obviously. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Or keep it in there.
We're going to be talking about standalones, duologies, trilogies, longer series, and what our preferences are, why we have those preferences, and then obviously debating about that. So to start us off about what's going on in the book world, I am passing it along to Erin.
All right, yeah. So here are some things that are happening in the book verse right now. House of Breath and Sky was just released. We will not be talking too much about that because spoilers, obviously. And then we have The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. That was on February 22nd for our thriller fans. Then there's Hook, Line, and Sinker by Tessa Bailey, March 1st for our romance fans. And then obviously The Fourth from Blood and Ash is coming out March 15th, but everyone probably already knows that.
We all know.
All right.
Yeah.
Jess.
Okay. So quick note, because I feel like an idiot, but I have to share my idiocy, is that up until like 2 weeks ago, and I saw the Bloomsbury stuff coming out with like the pictures of the House of Sky and Breath cover and everything, I legit just programmed that it was Rune on that cover. I just decided it. That was what I had decided, and that was it. It's Hunt. It's Hunt. Like, obviously, the other main character. Makes sense. But I just like totally decided that was Rune, and it could be no one else because I love him far too much. So
yeah, and you said that like way back, and I just rolled with it as well. And so we were both.
There are wings on the cover, and I was like, no, it's the wingless guy, obviously, not the one with giant wings. I'm just gonna totally decide that it's the guy with no. I'm okay. Anyway, okay, so after my little idiocy, so we're just gonna give you like some updates about us and what's going on in our lives, what we're reading, all of those different things. For me, it's just like a gloomy day here in Houston, and I'm trying to like crank through some work and those types of things, but I am trying to finish Morningstar, and Erin has been getting after me about it for like a long time because I chose to take the Red Rising series and read it over like a 3-year period because it's so much, so painful, and it's highs and lows, and I'm laughing, and then I'm like devastated in the next page, and I just, you know what, Pierce Brown does not fuck around, and I'm currently in a happy place, and it was really funny, so I was like, we're gonna put this down before I have to put it in the freezer. So that's where I'm at.
That series definitely deserves some time in the freezer. That is very true. Yeah, I need you to read that because I'm the only one so far that's finished the whole trilogy, the original trilogy of Red Rising, and I'm just like dying to talk to someone about it.
I started this, and I forced everybody to read, and then
I did it. I completed the task,
and I'm not going to finish.
Yeah, I finished the first book. I finished the first book, and it's so good. And I remember sitting there and being like, "Yeah, I'll take my time," and I finished it in a weekend.
Yeah.
And then I just haven't started book 2.
I need you guys to get on it, please.
It's a wild ride.
I'm a terrible human because I was like, yeah, let's read it. And then I didn't.
For everyone who hasn't read the series or doesn't know what it's about, Red Rising is basically Hunger Games on Mars. At least the first book is. And it follows Darrow.
Adults.
Right? Yes, it's an adult science fiction series.
He's 16 when you very first start the book, but it's not a teen series. He ages up real quick.
There's a lot of gore. There's a lot of death. There's a lot of plot twists.
Heavy human emotions.
It's so good though. It's so good.
There's a lot of depression.
It's really good. Yeah, so much depression.
And it's just very, very fast paced. It's like one of the most fast paced series I've probably ever read. Like there's literally no like moment to be like, okay, this is a good stopping point or a good breathing point.
There's no breathing room. Once you start the book, you're like, and I'm done.
Okay, so that's what Jess is doing, procrastinating finishing that series.
I'm procrastinating. What are you up to?
I recently just read the second First Impressions by Sally Thorne, and it was so cute. I really liked it.
I love that one.
The main character was dreamy, tattoos, man bun, all that. And then I always with romance books, I have an issue of like I don't want it to be too PG. And you just never know sometimes with like a contemporary romance what you're getting. And so I was very prepared for like it to be all fade to black. And it was not full on smut, but it was not PG. So I felt like it was a good happy medium.
Okay, it's
for
kind of
me.
funny because I was literally like right before we started recording this, I was literally just hearing my roommates talk about love hypothesis. And they're like complaining that the steamy part wasn't enough. They're like, "Ah, it was good, but like the steam, I wanted more steam." And I was like, that's relatable.
That's like all I think about with romance. Like, what's the steam level? I need it to be the right, perfect amount.
Yeah.
With Love Hypothesis, though, it wasn't like it was amped up to be something super steamy the whole time, though. Like, it was a really sweet
Yeah.
romance, but it
I
wasn't
haven't read
like,
it, so I don't know. But
I don't know. I didn't have the anticipation of it being like really aggressive, where like the X, no, like I mean, I cannot even talk to you. They sat there and talked about it forever, and then they finally get to the scene, and you're like, well, that was disappointing.
That was full on blue balls. All
too
right.
much hype.
Who else has some updates? Loretta, what's going on in your world right now?
I was going to share that my roommates and I are being super nerdy tonight, and we're having a Shakespeare dinner. And we're
I love
reading
that.
as you like it. I had it with me. Over
That's
here.
so cute.
It was going to be a whole thing. We were going to we invited a bunch of people, and we were going to like dress up and shit, and then like everyone bailed, so it's just
Aw.
our little core group. But we're still doing it, and we're going to have chili, and we're going to read as you like it.
You're not just gonna eat
Tonight.
like drumsticks of turkey legs. Or
I love that.
I wish we had thought of that.
I'm in Texas.
yeah.
All we think about is barbecue here.
But I will say I will say that I finally started the audio for what's the FBA spinoff book?
A Shadow in the Ember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 2 chapters into that. Yeah. It's really good.
Okay, keeping it rolling. Well, then I'm going to say my update is that I just finished A Shadow in the Ember, and I am excited to get back into the From Blood and Ash world with War of Two Queens.
We're on different
And
phases
yes.
of the journey.
Yes.
Yeah, I am definitely going to buy myself the ebook with all of my digital credits since my hardcover
Mhm.
won't be coming until May, and I need to read it
I'm so
ASAP.
torn because I have the fancy bookish box editions, so I have to wait for those to come out.
There
and,
were so many editions, and I want them all, but I can't have them.
So I'll be honest, with almost all of mine, I'm buying both the paperback and the digital because I just don't like reading big paperbacks. Like they just
Yeah.
stress me
Oh,
out.
that
So
doesn't bother me.
I don't like it. I don't like big, heavy paperbacks as a thing.
Well, I started with the paperbacks. So now I have 3 of the FBA paperbacks, and now my illogical brain is like, you should finish that too. So buy the paperback. And I'm like, no, that's more money. Why would I do that?
No, I'm the same way. I can't have it incomplete. That would
You
not be
gotta
right.
hurry up and
I
give
know.
those paperbacks to someone else. You've
I
got
know.
the hardbacks, give the paperbacks away, and
I have a
then
bunch of notes and shit in them too. So I'll be like, here's my annotated paperbacks.
Yeah. I'm
I
pretty
love
sure
it.
I have all 3 set. Like I have the first 2 in paperback, and then I have the first 3 in hardcover, plus A Shadow in the Ember in hardcover, and then I also have 2 of them on my Kindle. So I'm all over the place.
Yeah, I tend to always get an ebook if I'm like really into it because I want to just be able to go back whenever I want. Like if I'm waiting in line somewhere, or if my kid is like, play
This
with
is a
me, so I
problem.
can pretend to play.
but also I
Why?
will say it has been really helpful because that world is so intricate and we're trying to piece together clues. And now there's a series set earlier and we're trying to piece together clues. I really like having the Kindle version as well because
You can
I can
search.
search for names and dates and places. And that's what I was
I think
doing.
I do have the ebooks too.
Way too far in on that. I was like, where are these clues? Going back and forth. And I'm like, okay, you need to just stop and you know that there's no answer yet. You know she won't give you the answer till the last book. You've read JLA series before. I don't know why you're shocked by this. Yeah. So
You still like to sleuth.
I have to. It's like I'm keeping
Part of the
notes.
fun.
Yeah.
yes.
Spreadsheets.
I feel like this is a good segue into our main topic of discussion today, which is the size of the books that we read and the length of how long the entire world lasts and our preferences. So what do we think? How do we feel? Does anybody have like a line drawn in the sand of what they like to read at any given point in time. Who wants to go
So-
first?
I have different like things that I read at different points in time and how I feel. What I don't like to read are super extended series where they just get really wonky. Like I think Immortals After Dark is probably the longest series that I've like kept up with, and I think it's 19 books or something. But they're all individual stories. So you could read, there's an overarching storyline, but they're individual stories. But like the really long sci-fi like series or fantasy, like high fantasy extended series, I'm just not, I don't, I need resolution. I need a love interest. I need it to wrap up. I need some stuff going on. And I can't keep up with it, to be perfectly honest.
I wanted to mention, I think it's so funny because I think Deb and I are like at the complete opposite ends of this, reading style, because like she's like a powerhouse and she'll be like, I started this series and I'm going to finish it. And I don't care how bad it is. I'm going to finish it and find out what happens. And I'm like so flighty and mood ready that I'm like, this isn't doing it for me. I'm going to leave and never come back. And then,
Yeah.
You are the queen of like reading the first book in a series and then just not the rest of the series.
I've started so many and
It's
finished
intense.
so few.
Yeah. You're optimistic
It's a
that you'll come
problem.
back, but
I
you
really
don't
am,
usually
but
come
I don't.
back.
It's a miracle that I finished Throne of Glass. That's the longest series I've ever finished.
That is impressive.
That one's long.
That
for
is
sure.
a long one.
And I read it all like kind of at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a miracle. I don't know how I did that. I guess I just love it. But
I've read that entire series like 4 times. It's
Mhm.
And like on my last reread, I went through it all and then I read Tower of Dawn for the first time because I just refused to read Tower of Dawn for like 2 years because I hate Kale so much. So
I mean, that's fair.
for
Yeah.
the Kale lovers out there, you're allowed to love him. I get it. I read Crown of Midnight. I was so far on that train. I just, but
Betrayed.
to be fair, it hurt me deeply and I found a new man and it was done. It was over. It was all gone for me once I saw that.
Yeah.
the silver hair
Kale is
on
like
me.
epitome of I'm a nice guy.
He's definitely a man with a microphone, right?
I just read Tower of Dawn and roasted the fuck out of it when I was reading it to myself, which really entertained me.
Yeah,
For
Tower,
me.
Tower of Dawn was hard for me to read.
So many people telling me it's okay, you're gonna like him by the end once you get into his
No.
head, blah blah blah. And I'm like, do you hear
No.
the shit this
No.
man is spewing? Do you hear it? He's still blaming somebody for everything that went wrong in his life and never taking responsibility.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is not a Tower of Dawn rant session.
Yeah,
Yes,
we really
this is-
Tangent.
Okay, I can tie this back into my answer, which is I prefer the longest series of all time. Just give me all of the books because I need to know every single thing about every single character and how their life is. So that's why I enjoy multiple POV books and getting individual books and volumes from different perspectives that live within the same world, because
do
once I
love
get
that too.
started and once I'm invested, I am very obsessive about things and I'm like, okay, but like, what is this character's favorite color? Like, when's their birthday? What's their star sign? Like, who
What's
do they
wrong
marry?
with you? Give us these details.
No one should be surprised that Deb is a Virgo.
Like, like I need to know what they did with the rest of their lives. Like, okay, cool, they saved the world from like this demon, evil, whatever. And
But what are
like,
their children's names?
What else did they do?
What
I
are
need
their
to know.
grandchildren's names?
Like most of these
I mean, the
books on
lineage.
these yes, most of these books on these shelves are all probably longer series because I get fully invested in the lives of fake people, as one does.
This
So,
is why Shadowhunters is so perfect for you, because you got all the different stories from all the different timelines and excessive family
Yes.
trees and
Yeah, lots of sleuthing waiting for you.
so good. I can read a standalone, but then I feel like once I finish, I'm not fulfilled because I'm like, okay, cool. I
What
got to the
next?
But
end.
what else?
Yeah, like, but what?
Then
So
what happened?
I think I like a standalone romance a lot, but I also
Me
like
too.
the series, like the Brown Sisters series,
Yeah.
the
the Bridgerton
three-
series.
Bridgerton.
so
Yeah,
good.
I love that. Like
Mhm.
Immortals After Dark is fantasy romance, and it's like 19 books all set in the same world. You've got reoccurring characters, but they could be standalones kind of like the romance is different every single time. So
I
really enjoy
love
that one.
romance series that connect together but are like independent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like when you can
same.
see characters
Yep.
recurring in the background or whatever. I love that shit.
that.
Yes, me
Yeah.
too.
I don't
We're in
know
the same
why,
world.
but I could read a million of those.
Yeah. I feel like when I was younger, I was like full on like series only. Like I only wanted to buy and read books that were series, like obviously fantasy romance, definitely in the YA category when I was younger. But I definitely feel like now that I'm like a little bit older and like there's just so much I want to read that like there's something so satisfying for me about like reading a standalone because I'm like, I did it.
Agreed.
The whole story is done. I did it. My Goodreads count is going up. It's not like
There's no
there's like
guilt
a daunting,
because I know
like, I
I'm
got-
not going to go back.
yeah, I don't have like 5 more books that I'm like, I need to read. And like, I am definitely a binge reader. So like, once I get going, it's like, how dare the real world like get in my way? So like with the series, that's like a good, huge chunk of time that I'm just trying to like disappear from
Yeah.
everyone.
And like, I read thrillers, like a decent amount of thrillers, and I don't ever want a thriller to be a series. Like if somebody knows
That's
of a
fair.
really good
That's
like
true.
series of thrillers that's not like
Romance.
murder, and well, not a murder mystery, but like a legitimate thriller that's a series, which I think would be pretty hard, but you know, I would be into it maybe, but I really, you know, sometimes you need a good scare, a good creep, and like it just gives me that feeling that I need.
Yeah. I think sometimes you need a palate cleanser with fantasy, especially if like there's any similar like lore or like things that like, I don't know, you just need to like have a blank slate when you go into a new world sometimes so that you can just like not have too many preconceived, like this is how these creatures are supposed to be when it's totally different in that world. I feel like series for so long, like 3 was the golden number. How do you guys feel about like trilogies?
Yeah, I like trilogies.
Me
Yeah.
too. I feel like it's like that happy medium where like you're getting more than just one, but it's not like, oh God, when will
Overkill.
this series end? Like, have I taken on too much?
I
Yeah.
like a trilogy where the romance isn't pulled out for 3 books though. I don't
Oh
want to
my
sit
God,
here
yes.
and like stress case over, like I know
Yeah.
they're going to get together, but like I don't want to stress out over it for 3 books. I kind of really enjoy like the Jennifer Armentrout series of like, here's who it is. Now let's see how they tackle
Yeah,
these
her
things
structure.
together instead
Yeah.
of, yeah, her structure.
100%.
Like, how are they going to work through all of these problems together instead of,
Maybe they're going to break up. Like, are they actually going to get together?
now I will say with A Shadow in the Ember, because I personally like it better than the other from Blood and Ash series right now. I'm all about that whole everything that's happening there. I'm just so deep in it. But I think it's because Niktos is my ideal man. He is everything I ever wanted, and
I'm excited.
he's so grumpy. He's like Rowan, and that's
So
why I love him.
grumpy.
He's like Rowan, and it gives me just warm fuzzies all over.
I love Rowan a lot, so that gives me hope.
Yeah, he is very grumpy. I was gonna say, do you guys feel like there's like different times that you feel like one is better than the other, like a duology or a trilogy or a long series or just a standalone? Because I feel like definitely like what is going on in my life or like mental health helps me choose.
Definitely. So for me, at least, like especially with my mental health, like I'll do a reread when I'm having like rough depression days or like a height of anxiety. I will just reread something that's comforting, and not even like the whole book, just like sections of it, or just, you know, like a whole bunch of smutty, trashy stuff, which gives me all the feelings that I need. And when I say trashy, I mean it in the best way. I do not mean it in a negative
Yeah.
way. I mean it in a
Absolutely.
We all
want
love trash.
all
we
the smut.
trash.
I read almost exclusively trash, and I'm okay.
We
with
call
it.
it
Yeah.
trash, but it's smut, but it's what we need and what we want.
It's an endearing trash name.
It's that
We're
it's like
embracing
when
it,
you
you
call
know?
somebody trash for their favorite celebrity, it's that they're obsessed with it, and that's why it's trash, because we're obsessed.
Like we are trash.
Yeah, we're
for
obsessed
it.
Yeah.
with all of this
It
content.
means I love it.
I am trash for long
Yeah.
series. Give me long
Yes.
series all of the time. But I do like duologies. I feel like duologies can be done well, but the ones that I do like are usually connected to a longer series. So
Yes.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I will say I really liked the Merciful Crow duology by Margaret Owen. It was
I wanna
Yeah,
it's
I haven't read
a really good duology that is a standalone world situation, that if you just want to read a good duology, It's got a good love situation in it. It's got really cool magic system that is different. And yeah, it's got the right amount of emo and angst and love. And I really enjoyed that one quite a bit.
I don't think I've ever read a duology. I'm like trying to rack my brain. I own some duologies. I have not read any.
I really liked the Daughter of the Pirate King duology
Oh
by
yeah, I wanted to
Trisha
read that too.
Levenseller. It's YA.
I have those
It's
audiobooks.
definitely like younger YA, but it's really fun. It's like younger Pirates of the Caribbean with
Oh.
mermaids and sirens and like all kinds of cool stuff. And that duology was pretty fun. Yeah. And I know people love the Six of Crows duology,
I do.
and
She doesn't.
I have mixed feelings. Well, we could get into that on a different day, but
I haven't read
I
it.
know
can't have
people love that
opinions.
series. But again, like I personally, based on my own experiences, don't think you can read them by themselves. I think you need to read her other series first, but according to her, you don't, which I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I disagree as well after having read them all. I enjoyed them a lot more knowing the magic system from the first series. I think I would have disliked them if I had just gone straight in, but
Yeah.
maybe not disliked, but I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much without that backstory and all the little Easter eggs and fun stuff. So
Yeah.
agreed.
Okay. Well, what standalones then do we think would have been better as longer series or
The shadows
burnout, or
between
that we
us.
felt?
The shadows between us.
Yeah,
We needed
gonna
more
say
of that.
that.
We needed so much more.
Yeah.
it was so great. Like, why wouldn't you make more of it?
I'm still stressed out about the Fade to Black after all of the lead up that happened in that. And I want to just be like, it's YA, it's okay. You can do a Fade to Black. It's all right. It was just, there's so much sexual tension there. There was so much sexual tension.
Yeah.
But I just didn't expect the Fade to Black. It caught me off
I
guard.
can't figure out.
Yeah.
I can't pinpoint what it is, but it had like a vibe that made me think it was gonna be spicier.
Yeah,
than it was,
because
even
it
though
opens
I
up
knew
with
it
a
was
dead
YA.
body, and you're like, cool, there's
And
murder
she's
on
just-
page
Yeah.
one.
So sex positive. Like she's like, yeah, I have sex with people all the
Yeah.
time when you're like not supposed to in that world.
was
You're supposed to be
amazing.
little virgin maidens. And she's just like, yep, get in mine.
Do whatever I
Go
want.
for it. So then it's like, okay, it does build it up. Like you're gonna get more than one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And there is definitely like YA that has done more, that isn't like graphic. It's still, I think, YA, but it's probably just like upper. And I felt like
Yeah.
they could have been done with
Mhm.
that, I think.
You're
for sure.
gonna make fun of me, but when we talk about YA and sexual content, I am never getting over. You know what I'm gonna say? So you're
Oh
laughing.
yeah, I do know.
Jay's
We all
taking
do.
a condom to a demon realm. He just was like, hold on. I know we're in the demon realm, but let me pull it out. And like applause to Cassie Clare for putting that in there, because we definitely want to promote safe sex. And I 100% am with the message. But how am I not going to laugh that he's like, I know we're in the demon realm and there's like fire everywhere. There's some pools of water and crinkle, crinkle, rip, rip. Like I just,
I had to read that several times. I was like, what's ripping?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
happening right now?
I will say, yeah. I will say, when did that come out? How old was I? Was I like?
I'm pretty sure I
think
was,
like
I'm pretty
20.
sure I was on the younger side.
Yeah, I was definitely.
I think I was like 20 and I was
early
reading it and I was
20s.
like, wait, are they having sex right now? Is this happening?
I was so
happening
confused.
right now.
I did not
he
know
has
that.
a
I had to
condom.
reread it. I was like, wait.
I had to do
Is
that in
that-
Dark Artifices because I was like, is that what just happened?
Me too. I was listening to it and I was like, what?
This is a really great example of how we can start with any topic and then just instantly we're talking
Yeah.
about smut and steam.
Yeah.
And we will
All right.
just always come
We're
back
gonna-
to it.
completely.
We're gonna bring it back in and reel it into books standalones that we think could have been longer, and I'm gonna tone it down on the sexual content and go with some Maggie Stiefvater books, because the Scorpio Races was amazing.
Oh my God, why wasn't that
and
a series?
I wanted more of like magical water horses.
Is that one
but we
book?
only got one book. It's only one book.
I
Why?
haven't read that one, so I just
There should be like 6
It's
more
so
books.
good. And if you haven't read any Maggie books, to anybody out there, please pick up one of her series. I feel like there is a series
I'm obsessed with
that is
them
good
all.
for one there is a Maggie series that you will like, and she is amazing, and her writing is so magical that I always just want more. Like it's
I will say, I personally did not care for the wolf
Shimmer.
one.
Yeah, not for me. Definitely not for
Shiver.
me.
I read that first book and I was like, "What is
Yeah.
happening here?"
I had a lot of confusion.
This is, I think it's just my brain, and there has to be a psychological issue because I loved Raven Boys, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
she created the spin-off series about
Oh my God,
Ronin,
it's so
and I was
good.
like, this is what I needed. Like, I'm fully invested in these kids' lives and these like preppy rich boy problems that I needed. And I'm like, yes, give me all of the books. I'm going to just like
Yeah.
devour them.
Am I supposed to be talking about the psychological reasons as our resident
Yes,
person?
I have that question for you because I really want to know if there is
Yeah.
like a brain reason why you
The
like
connection.
Why do we like preppy rich white boy series? Is my real question. Like fix that part of my brain first.
That's a fair
Because-
question.
That's gotta be some ingrained patriarchy and toxic masculinity.
Yes.
coming out.
Okay. I want to know if there are any psychological reasons or concepts that relate to when we pick up longer series versus when we don't. If there is any.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything like so specific that's like Googleable right now off the top of my head, but I think definitely probably just has to do with sort of like your frame of mind or like where your anxiety's at, or like maybe even some of your just like attachment things, right? So if you're someone who like gets attached easily, or you don't want to be like lose people, right? Your fear of abandonment potentially could be playing into that. Like a longer series makes a lot of sense because you get to just stay with them, right? And then it becomes sort of like your friends and family, and you have like, you can sort of place yourself in there in a different way than you can with the standalone, I think. So it makes sense to like not want to leave the world in that kind of way. And then I think I was saying earlier, like sometimes even for myself, like wanting to do a longer series can seem really daunting. So if that was like giving you anxiety of like, oh, I have this, like it becomes like a task almost, just maybe to especially the one Jess was talking about, it's like 19 books. If you're like, this is a really good series, like someone recommending to me a 19 book series feels like, yeah, okay, we'll see if I get to that, right? And so certainly for people that feel that way about like even just a smaller trilogy or something like that, standalones are going to be your friend if that just gives you anxiety thinking like, oh my God, there's just so much. But I think like for us being kind of fantasy people, we're like less afraid of the longer series because it's all that work anyway, like world building and that we like. So I don't know if that really like answers that question. I'm happy to answer more specific questions about sort of the where your psychological self
Yeah.
is play there.
Let us know if you guys want more about characters and their psychological breakdowns and all kinds of fun brain facts from Erin.
Yes. The resident psych major mental health therapist over here.
Woot, woot.
We need
My
you.
secret other life.
I can't wait to get into specific books and like have you psychoanalyze them.
I will diagnose everybody for real.
I want that
All
in my
of these
life.
people in most of these books, I'm like, they have so much trauma, like they need to go to therapy.
Everyone needs therapy.
Especially in anything Penelope Douglas, I'm just like, oh God. No.
Please go to therapy.
Oh yeah.
Literally everybody just go to therapy immediately.
Yeah, I enjoy living in your trauma world, but I could not actually be friends with any of you in real life.
Oh, absolutely not.
I
Yes.
love it.
Okay. Well, we talked a lot about series and I think it's getting close to end of time. And I
Mhm.
think Jess has a game for us. So I'm excited for this.
I have a game, and the title of this game is "Did a Man Write This?"
I'm so pumped for this.
I have
I'm so excited.
a handful of quotes. Some of them are written by women. Some of them are written by men. So you get to guess if it was written by a man or a woman. And I am just not prepared to read these
These
things
are
out
like
loud.
they're sexy quotes, right? They're sexy quotes.
These are going to be explicit. If you don't want to hear explicit pieces of fiction, then do not listen past this section. Have a wonderful day. Do the best. Get your main character energy going. But as of now, it's going to get real. Okay? All right.
Here we go, guys.
This is what happens when I'm in charge. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're starting off with a bang. I'm not even gonna ease you in.
I'm stoked. Let's do it.
All right.
So how many will there be? You're gonna let us know like here's one, here's the next one, and then we have to guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna read it if I can get through it, and then I'm gonna say, all right, is it a man or a woman? Okay. This is gonna get I'm gonna try not to laugh. I'm so sorry.
Don't make eye
okay,
contact with yourself.
right? Okay, here it is. The last time I had an orgasm was just then, she said bashfully. Listening to the way you spoke, what you said, I couldn't help myself. Man or woman?
That was a man. Right?
I feel like that was a woman, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that was a woman too.
Really? I don't know.
Loretta wins. It was a man.
Yes. Only a man would be like,
That's
yes, I
true.
talk and you come.
That's true.
Who
I think I
is
got like psyched up that I was like, I'm gonna think it's a man, but it's really not.
She's sitting on the washing machine. What's happening here? Sorry.
But I feel like I've also read cringy things like that before. Where they're
Okay.
like, oh.
Okay. Next one. And this is going to get weird. She closed her eyes, saw his dark as treacle toffee eyes gazing down at her. Weirdly, he was clad in pinstripes at the same time as being naked. Pinstripes were erotic. The uniform of fathers, two-dimensional fathers. Even Mr. Hughes's penis had a seductive pinstriped foreskin.
What?
Okay. This feels like a woman who's not seen a penis before.
Yeah, this feels like a woman to me too.
I don't even know how I read that.
A
I don't even-
striped penis?
I'm so confused. I have so many questions.
That's why I had to use it. I was so confused and just flabbergasted. I was like, I don't know, but we're going to ask everybody else. What do you guys think?
I'm getting
I don't
woman
know.
vibes and I
I'm-
don't completely understand why.
I will be the outsider and say it was a man.
Okay, it was definitely a woman, which and I'm
I'm terrible at this
going
game.
to tell you guys who these authors are because I don't want to put anybody on blast about their.
No, but tell us secretly.
I'm not trying to kink shame here. I'm just
Send it in
reading.
the chat later.
All right. Her lips are so sexy. I imagine them consuming mine and kissing me without reprieve until I'm completely deprived of air. What a beautiful way to suffocate.
A man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a very emo quote, so I thought I'd throw in one that was a little bit less.
Yeah, that
Okay.
is. Just like, kill me now with your lips.
Right? Okay.
What a way to go.
All right, I got one.
This one's long. No, I'll go with a different one first and we'll see. Okay. The cold air made my hair stand up from the roots, the way my nipples stood erect, every follicle on my arms and legs becoming a tiny clitoris.
That was
Man.
a man.
Man, for sure. What the fuck?
I found some weird
Ew,
shit.
I'm gonna be so weirded out about like getting goosebumps.
But like,
later.
can you guys
what?
imagine my browser history right now? It's just
I love this for your computer.
I hope PC goes to
I
search
think
for
that's a
something
great
and
one
he's
to
like,
end
what
on.
the fuck?
Yeah, I feel like that was just that's a peak.
that's
That's
it.
like the
can't-
perfect.
you
Yeah,
can't- you
we're not
can't
coming
beat
back
that.
from that.
Yeah, okay, I'm good because they get way weirder after that, and I'm
Yeah.
happy with not
Alright.
having to read these out loud.
Well, now
Glad I could
everybody
entertain.
knows, all the listeners know that you have more weird ones to
Yeah.
offer up and make us cringe.
Yeah.
Happy.
Figure
If you guys want
awkwardly.
more of this?
Happy to
that's-
do
that's
this.
awesome.
There we go.
I want more of this. All right. Did we do the thing?
We did the
Good thing,
thing.
guys.
Yeah.
I think that's it for now. So next week we're going to be talking about sorting the stacks and our book buying preferences and addictions and problems. So please follow us on social media if you want more content and more of this craziness. We're on everything: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok,
All the things.
all the things. So go find us.
Yes,
And
at Emo Girls Guide.
Emo girls guy.
Emo Girls Guide.
Emo Girls Guide.
Heck yeah.
All right.
And may your day be blessed with main character energy, everybody.
Main character energy.
Main character energy.
Main character energy.